new build day, and this one is a little doll's house, and I saw this. It's pink. I thought it'd be quite cute. I don't really have any pink models whatsoever actually, so I thought it'd be quite nice to do this. So from here we're going to need glue. I'm not sure if it comes with it. LED lights, do it yourself obviously, and it says the toy is to be assembled by an adult. Does it give, it says a house with a story, a home with thoughts. It's kind of cute, isn't it? Okay, and that's okay. So there's a standard collocation, I never even heard of the word, construction to me, or one with a dust cover. I don't know, can't remember. So it kind of came like this, so it's not sealed, but I bought it with some other stuff, so maybe that's why. But I haven't opened it yet, so you can be surprised to get. Okay, so it's all going to come out from the top here. Alright, so let's see, got a bag of goodies. Got something very bent over with instructions. Okay, have a look at that in a moment. We have a board. I would imagine that's the base board. We have a bag of other boards. It looks like it's for electronics. I don't think it comes with a music box. I could be wrong. But this back here does look like some sort of dust cover. So maybe I do have dust cover. I don't recall, to be honest with you. Yep, it's the dust cover. It's going to be a very small dust cover. That's all I'm going with. Maybe it just goes to the front of it or something. But it does have one. Okay, it comes with a complimentary pair of tweezers, not good ones, and a very bendable ruler. Neither one of those I will be using. So let's see what else there is. Let's get those back in our box. I don't like the fact that the instructions have had to be bent. Let's have a look at what's in here. Haven't seen a music box yet, and it does, nothing feels particularly heavy either. Just making sure I haven't missed it in the box or something. Alright, so some bits and pieces, little pink wheels, that's pretty cute. Like this, some other wooden parts. So all the bags are labelled. So you've got E, D, B and C. Not sure where A would be. I'll put them back in afterwards, guys. I'm not making too much noise for you. Right, let's have a look at what we got in here. I can see wire. I have bags of bags. Have some gold paper. Ooh, lots of little things to make. Frilly parts. Okay. Alright. There is no music box. It does have this our power switch, I think. And it's going to have to be wired up. It's got just normal wires in there. And then we have a bag of beads inside. Those are probably flowers. We have some pots. We're going to make some flowers for this. And that is bag G, H, F. I'm guessing A maybe is the board. Right, let's pop those up there out the way as I drop them on the floor. I don't want to do that because of puppykins. Okay, and let's see what's in this one. Where did the opener go? Put it somewhere safe, other side of the box. There we go. So obviously this is the paper elements. So probably the first thing I'm going to want to do is flatten this. Okay. So book. These are templates. Material list. Okay, a separate material list. Quite often it's in the instructions. And then our... So we don't have a music box, but we do have some sort of dust cover thing going on. And the baseboard is considered A. along with the other hardboard pieces. Okay, and it is meant to come with just the one transparent cover, so we will see what we do. So you've got the flooring here. That's a reasonable size. I thought it would be I thought it was going to be very small, even based on that floor panel. It looks quite small. Pretty good quality paper, so I'm not complaining about that. These, I would, like I say, I'd imagine are templates. This is probably for the wire. There was some wire there, so it looks like we are going to be window template paper. Don't know what that's coming out of actually. Do we have a transparent sheet? This is a PVC sheet, so we do have a sheet, so I'd imagine that's what those are coming out of, probably for the front. And then we have a, oh, there's a transparent sheet, and this will be probably for the front here, maybe the side, but that could be the dust cover. Okay, need to put those a bit flatter, I think. Might be alright actually. And what do we have? So we've got where everything goes at the front, and then it starts in with the small pieces. So it's a Chocolatier Shop. So very cute. And I'm going to be doing ribbon. Not my favourite thing there. Did not come with any glue or anything, not that I can remember seeing. I'm pretty sure it didn't. And a little chocolate box that looks rather cute, doesn't it? Okay. Oh, isn't that similar to, gosh, which model was it that I did? Was it a coffee house, I think? Had these ones where you put them on a tray, almost identical actually. I wonder if it's the same company. Can't remember who that was. I'm not sure I remember who this was. Alright, so it's not particularly in steps, it is just in what you're building, so we'll just do a few at a time. And then it's got about the dust cover, but I don't have that many sheets for a dust cover, so I'm not so sure how that's going to work. This is the complete dust cover. I don't think I have that. Upgraded versions, I don't have that. Alrighty, so that is this one. Let me go and pull some pieces. Really looking forward to having a little bit of pink in my display actually. It'd be quite nice. Alright, I will be right back. Okay, so first I'm going to get everything tested and ready, get these lights tested. So this one comes with the battery. Hopefully it's good. So let's see. So it's the opposite of what you think. So I think white goes to grey and grey goes to white. I don't quite know why they don't do it the other way around, but that's what I believe to be the case. So let's see if our lights work. If I can get hold of the thing. Doesn't make sense to me anyway, but I'm sure that's what I read. And of course I may also have turned it off. No, it's on. And go back to the drawing board of checking my information. Let's see. It says white with the grey. Well, it does go white to grey. Okay, so just hold them a bit better maybe. Or I've got the same problem. Last time I had one that came with the batteries, they didn't work either. Oh no, we have lights. There we go. They were there for a split second. Alright, so check this one. So it's got 3 lights. So white to grey. Why wouldn't they have grey to grey and white to white? One assumes they're all going to work if one works. Because quite often what I will do is I'll end up testing them right at the end and then they don't show. So I try and remember to do it, but I don't do it with all of them, unfortunately. Okay, so all of those work, so I can go back in. I very much doubt that I can get my little slip back in here. But, okay. So those works, that's fine. So the other things we're going to prepare is some wiring, which I'll do last, I think. We have some things to stick onto things. So we have this paper element that is going to go on here. So let me just make this a bit smaller. We don't need to be... This one's for a chocolate flower base. Why I try and do these first is then they've got plenty of time to settle and take before we start cutting them out and messing with them. So I'm thinking we could do it on the back, in which case it probably doesn't even matter if the bit of paper stays on there. But let's use some beacon for this. So if you don't know, other than this really needing a clean, we have some, I'm just using beacon 3-in-1. It's really very good for papery products, although this one needs cleaning. And I'm just going to stick it on, but like I say, this one, because we're putting it on the back and for what it's going to be, it probably doesn't matter if your circle stays on the paper. And then just hold it up to the light and make sure it's covered, which it is. And then we are doing the same with this one, and again we can put this on the back, trying to look at the designs to see if it's something which can be done. So this one can, and again this one probably doesn't matter if your paper stays on it, but I will try and get it off. I mean, it seems the right thing to do if we can. And put a bit in the middle here, a bit up here. I really need to sort this glue. And put that on this one, make sure it's all covered, and we can see this one quite easily is going to be covered. It's quite a bit bigger, and these can then sit to one side and just do their thing. And then just press that one down a bit more. Then we have the chair, which is going to go on here. Let's put it on the back, and again we're just going to go around the edge. If it was a really close fit and it wasn't too much spare material, I'd probably do this a bit different, but this has plenty of materials. So we're going to have some pink chairs on our chocolate one. Chairs are quite a bit further, and a lot of this wiring is to do with the chairs. Then we have some paper elements. I need to separate these out like so. We all love these paper ones, don't we? And this one can go over here. Will this reach that way? It will not. Would it be best that way or this way? I reckon they're leaves. I reckon we should cut them in half, because I think they should go with the grain. That's what I think. Could very well be wrong on this, but and go up here. And this paper you will want off, otherwise you can't fold the leaves so well. Go towards the edge as far as we... Oh, I could have gone further, couldn't I? Can I fit that one underneath? I reckon I can, you know. With it, oop, almost put the glue right in the middle. That would not have been too helpful. Beacon is rather stringy, I must say, so I'm going to put it this way up for them to be close together. Not sure if we're going to need the green for anything else, so I'm going to cut this one a little closer, and again just do the backs of this so I can see where to put it. And this one will go on, and we're not going to use this for we're not going to use any of this for a little bit, which is why I want to do it now, because that gives it a moment for it all to just sit there and do its thing. So I'm just going to double that up over, and we have quite a bit over in case there's other green bits we need to do stuff to. And then we have the see-through template. So if you follow the directions, you'd be doing one of these small ones first, but I want to make sure that we have enough for doing the big one, and definitely want it on the edge. I'm going to have to sort my glue. I'll be back. Alright, that didn't take a moment. Alright, so we just want to make sure all of this is covered on the edges but not actually on the paper, because we don't want it sticking to the glass. Let's put that right. Just make sure it's on there. Okay. Right, now to see if we can fit the rest in. That's a tight fit, but it will go in here. So all I'm doing is looking through, which is why I'm holding it up, the other side. Oh, this glue's really globby today. I'm just going to overlap it somewhat on here to make sure we have enough, and check to make sure that those lines are separated. Needs a little bit up. Okay, then let's get this big one out of the way. Just provided enough. I'm glad. If you did it the way they said, then I think you would be doing one of these, I think this small one first. My concern would be that you would run out of the see-through stuff for here. Right, and last one. It's for a display case, and it's cut as far as I could tell to size, which isn't as helpful as one would like to think it would be. Because I don't have much to play with as far as cutting out goes. Okay, alright, so that's done. So those can go also to one side. Sort my glue out again. Won't need this for a moment anyway. And I got it on me, I'll be back. Okay, so some of these you want 2 for. All of them you want to duplicate except for this one here. They all have the same wire except for that one there. So first of all, let's get the bigger wire, and we will start with the circle here, which is 4.7 centimeters, and then we will have to bend it to shape. I am going to use these little round ones because that's what they will go on rather than the template, but I will have to do the template for the other stuff. Very thick wire, by the way, with a little wobble. It would have got wobbled anyway, right, in the packaging. So 4.7, and you want 2 of those. So you can either put them against each other, or you can use, obviously, the ruler again. Okay, and these 2, to get their shape, are going to go around this piece. And they are going to be too big for it anyway. So you want it to go up to about here, this little notch, just on the corner here. And the same with the other side. So it's going to be a bit big. So I'm going to trim that. And then this will be ready to go. This one. And then do the same with the other one. So just hold it down here. And this is getting ready to make chairs, which we probably won't get to today, but it gets all the prep out the way. Well, some of the prep, I'm sure there's a lot more. Like, there's wall prep and things like that to do, but not at that stage yet. And this one needs to go a bit higher. So again, a little trim. This is a smaller trim than the other one, but it needs it a bit on both sides. It's probably going to not matter too much if it's a little over. So I'm going to treat those as done. Okay, those can go with that because we don't need those again. Right, we will deal with this little one now, which is, let's see, 4.5 centimeters. And this is the thinner one. And you need 2. Go to about here. So we're going to have a little bit of this over. We will get building today, but I want to get all the prep out of the way. Or, like I say, as much as I can. This isn't to cut it, it's just to shape it, and this one will be shaped according to this. Ooh, there's my thingies. So basically, roughly in half, and then we'll get it shaped to go out. Could have done with it being a little bit bigger, maybe. Or maybe I'm just not tight enough on the top here. I'm going to do this, and this one needs to bend slightly here and here, roughly. Doesn't need to be totally perfect, but good enough. Again, we can do it roughly in half. And quite a tight bit at the top here, and then spread it out some. Not terrible, not quite. There we go. A bit longer this side, so I was going to trim that a bit. Alrighty, so those are those done. Next we are going to do these bigger ones, which are, let's see, what are they? 10 centimeters. So again, we're going to want 2. Special. And these are quite the shape, aren't they? So, right, you get the idea. So I'm going to do that, then this one, then the big round one. This is for the parasol, but these are all to do a chair. So this one is going to be, let's see what it says, 4.8 centimeters, and the parasol is going to be 9.8. So let me get the rest of these done and I'll show you. Okay, so that's all cut out. I used the wood that this one's going to go round as the template rather than this. Alright, let's start our build. The first thing we are going to be making is a cabinet. Sometimes I like to do the walls and things first, but in this case I'm just going to start with the smaller stuff. But in the smaller stuff we're doing a cabinet, so that's kind of cool. And we will be needing some of, which wire is this? Some of the wire that we just used. Which one is it, the small one or the thick one? It is the thick one. Oh, I don't have much. Okay, let me see if I have enough. And how much does it require? 0.5, 1 centimetre. Yeah, we're going to be fine. And I'm going to get all this tidied up. Binman are just here making lots of noise. So let me get ready for it. I'll get this cut out. So you want 0.5 times 2. Alright. It was tricky working out what piece was what, I can tell ya. So, first of all, we want these two together, and there is a very specific way. So, DO4 is going to go to the bottom, like so. DO5, even this one. So, we'll get that wood glued. So, it's quite a big cabinet, but it's very specific. And it's quite hard to tell the difference between the pieces in reality. So this one will go here. I think when it comes to the smaller things I'm probably going to need to move camera angle, but let's see how we go. I do have a tendency to knock it rather a lot by doing it the other way. then we are going to put these two together with DO8 on here, but slightly over it says. Why would it do that? It fits. Let's do it that it's fitting and we'll see. We will see if we need to change that. I mean, I want the wood glue enough to take that it's reasonably stable, but still enough movement. So then we are going to put this one on top of that one with gluing it that this part is upwards. And let's go down here. We will see how this works, because we have not dried it. Okay. Haven't even allowed it to take really. But let me hold that for a moment. But I think that looks okay. Alright, I'll be back in a minute. I'm just going to hold it, and you don't want to watch paint dry literally. Well, glue, you know what I mean. Okay, so I took it off to allow it more time for it to actually take, because it was being very difficult the way I was trying to do it. So let's try that again. So now, because this isn't really going to be moving or anything, it's not so bad. It's not fully set, but it's better. Okay. So then, sorry, parts. Okay, next we have two shelves here. These are going to go like in here and here. And what they need is they need measuring for where the doors are going to go, which are these pieces. So basically you are going to have, they're both the same, right? Yeah. Basically you're going to have one so far up, so you're going to want a shelf just under that line, and then the other one the opposite, so one goes from somewhere in between actually. Probably should just measure it and get a rough idea. So this one's not so bad, and then you're going to have a shelf in between here. So this measurement for the shelf going in between is about 3 centimeters, so 1.5. And then this one is slightly different, but we know now it's 1.5 to be marked here, and then 1.5 from the bottom. So basically they're going to have cupboard doors on them, but this is where our shelving is going to go, and the shelving are here. Couldn't find them for a second, but I think before we do that I'm going to use these little pieces of metal that we cut off and get that done. Actually no, changed my mind again. It's not like the first time, is it? So which way is it? Goes long ways, I think. Or is it this way? I think it's long ways. It's tricky to tell. No, it's short. Okay. And you want the gap at which end? The back. So turn this one around. You want the flat side of the back. So like so. Give or take. And try and get it as straight as you can. You could get out a set square and do it that way if you're so inclined, or you can just do the rough way. You can guess which way I'm doing. probably be easier to lay it down actually. Make sure it's at least square on the back edge. Okay, and then this one is going to go the opposite, and you have the two shelves at the top. Oh, I totally missed with the glare. And those can sit and wait for a moment. We will be putting them in very soon actually. So just get those roughly lined up with your pencil mark. Basically you're dividing the piece by 4. And I can see that that one up here is very straight, as is this one. And that's where you probably should get a little measure to make sure that they're right. Okay, for this, we're going to use a tad of tacky glue, and you want one on each side, pretty much in the middle. Oh, that one, that can go on there. It's a bit yucky, so let's get that on the inside. They're not going to move, these doors, so I have it like so. A little bit tacky on here too, and those can be sitting a moment. Should get the old thingies out. As long as they're about the right height and about the right distance in, you should be okay. This one looks a little slightly bigger than the other one. Very slight, but it is. It's not in the same spot either. They're not next to each other, so you wouldn't actually be able to really compare. Okay, those can go away. Now we are going to put in the one with the 2 shelves distance into here, so like so. So bearing in mind that they have not set, so it's a gentle. They're just hanging on for dear life. And that one's like, no, I'm not. I don't want to play that game. Something like so. But my friend, you are going to go in, liking or liking not. It's probably almost just as easy to put it in afterwards, by the way. These little shelves. Then it's time to give these dogs some treats. It's not nice enough weather to spend a lot of time outside for them. So, right, let's put a bit more glue on this one. And then we're going to put that door on. So roughly in here. Stuck to it. I'll try and square it up a bit because I can see that that's not very square. Don't think this one is particularly either. Can understand why you might want to get a set square out. Okay. And then let's put one of these door fronts on, which should just sit on the inside, or are they going on the outside? They're going on the in. With the handle going this way, and that helps square it up as well. Won't help the shelves be square particularly, but we do have stuff going in all of these. One of the pieces for this unit they advise you not to put in until after everything is in there, by the way. So then we have the other one going in. So I think what we're going to do is pop this side on first, so we can do kind of the same thing. It does not say to do that. But I'd imagine it is going to be the same principle as this one. Ooh. But that's going to help our unit here to square up. This one's had a little bit of time, although I can see it's incredibly crooked. Probably would be best to square them up, guys. Don't do a me. This one goes in here, like so. I don't think I put any glue at the bottom, did I? Can't recall. Wow. And then it went down like a stack of cards. You are better off trying to make it dry in between, by the way. I guess it's straight. Doesn't look overly straight to me, but I guess it is. Alright, so let's see. Let's do it this way this time. Get this in roughly. Put our shelf in. This has the covered front at the bottom. Same with this one. In reality, you are better off just letting it dry in between, by the way, rather than rushing through. And also, do keep in mind that you are going to have things on these shelves, so you do want it to be reasonably square and at the right distance, otherwise nothing's going to fit in. And the last thing we are going to do is put in this shelf, followed by this one. So this one's going to go on here. And I'm thinking it's going to need a little bit at the bottom. I'll put it on the edge because I'm not 100% sure where it's going to fit. Oh, we could do some here too, can't we? And then this will make sure that we're nice and square with our wall here, especially if it doesn't fall in. Damn it. Darn it. Let's try that again. It really wants to fall in. I may, shocking, have been better off using some super glue instead, especially as it's going into a bit of a precarious position. Wow. And I think that's what we're going to end up doing. Because otherwise it's just going to keep falling apart. Unless you leave it a long time. If you leave it a long time, you'll be fine. Alright. I don't know how much of this super glue I have left. But it's going to get a bit at the bottom. A bit underneath at the top. And a little bit on the side. Dang. Other side. Do you know how many times I do that? Other side. Patience, right? And then hold it, because I'm using super glue, so, oh, don't do that. Oh my goodness. Alright, give me a moment. Okay, that's holding together. So you want this one about 3 centimeters down, basically. Matches kind of with this line and going across. So, let's see. So around here. I'm just going to go with super glue. So it's tested my patience. And I've only just started the model. It's because I'm not letting it dry. To be honest with you, if you let it dry in between, you won't have any problems with this. It's all lining up fine. It's nothing to do with the model itself. It's more to do with, unfortunately, my impatience. Be a bit crooked, didn't it? Well, if any of them are crooked, we got this little one. That sure is crooked. Right, I was gonna get this a bit more straight. Would be good. Okay. And then we have a. Do we need to do that? Oh, really? Again? Patience, patience. And then, do we have a roof on this? I think it's this. Yes. Okay, that I am going to wood glue. I mean, I do prefer wood glue. I don't like super glue particularly. And then the last part is to do with putting this on, which they do recommend. That you wait until you've made the items and put them in before putting it on, which we will start to do tomorrow. But I will tell you what we have going in one tickety boo, if I can ever get this to catch. should have done it with super glue after all, huh? I didn't even think it was bowed, but I wonder. It makes you wonder. Right, guys, so what do we have going in there? We have, into this unit, let's see if I can tell what's going in here. We have some chocolates. We have some chocolate sauce. We have some cake boxes, a cake box, gift box it says. We also have a pile of gift boxes to do, which is kind of cool. And I just need to leave it, really. I like this one. It, like, if I get it on the top, it seems to want to not be on the bottom. Okay. The joys. Okay, I'm going to stop touching it. Like I say, so tomorrow we will start on the stuff to put into this unit, hopefully get this unit finished and moved on to another section. Kind of just started this build and I don't like it. But like I say, it's probably perfectly fine. It's just me being a bit impatient. I think what I'm going to do is just clamp this actually, because it wants to pop out either side. So I'm going to clamp the top and bottom, and then I will get this put on by tomorrow, so you don't need to worry. But like I say, there is another piece that we are going to use, but they do advise you not to put it in because there are things going to go in this top here, and if you have it too far out, then it's not going to work. So, all right. So thank you very much for watching. Do post any comments and I will reply to you, and do like and subscribe as well so that you can follow and be updated of any new videos that are coming out. It normally isn't quite the pickle that this has been to do one unit, to be honest with you. I think it might be slightly bowed maybe, or like I say, it's just my impatience, because it does seem to be like if I push this in it will stay in, so I'm thinking it is probably a little bowed. Anyway, I'm going to clamp this for a while and then I'll put that top on, so tomorrow the top will be on and ready to go. And it's like this piece just needs to, I'll get all this squared up. Alrighty guys, anyway, most of all, take care of yourselves. Take care, bye.